Hey friends, Ash here with Gents, and today I've got 4 fragrances for you, kind of a mini haul, and I stole each one of these fragrances from Studio SCENTS, which is a friend of mine. He lives here locally. Link in the description to his channel. Obviously, I didn't really steal these, but I did take them temporarily from his collection so I could check them out. I don't own any of these fragrances. I haven't smelled any of these fragrances, and a couple of these I've thought about buying for months and months and months and just never got around to, never added it to an order that I've placed. So I figured good a time as any to check them out, and then I can decide if I actually want to buy them or not. So the 4 fragrances I've got here today are Hugo Now and Hugo Urban Journey, both from Hugo Boss. Tommy from Studio SCENTS is a big fan of these canteen bottle fragrances from Hugo Boss, so I got both of those. Also got Kenzo Eau De Parfum, and then this enormously, extremely cheap fragrance, Real Madrid. I've seen this one online for under $10 before, so this is about as cheap gets. 4 fragrances, lots to talk about. Let's jump into this. Okay, so of these 4, the one that I'm the most interested in personally is this one, Quintom Eau De Parfum. I have had this one in my cart probably 3, 4, 5 different times and then just not pulled the trigger. So let's check it out today. Usually I would not use tester strips. Not really a big fan, because I feel like when you smell a fragrance off a tester strip, you're getting like 60% of the story. You know, you're not really getting the full effect. Sometimes tester strips will throw you off. They'll make citrus smell like it's way more prominent than it actually is when you wear it off your skin, or it won't develop all that much and it will smell like it's, you know, staying the same. But then when you spray it on your skin, it will change as it dries down. There are a lot of different things I don't like about tester strips, but I'm already wearing 4 different fragrances today. You may think that's a little bit overkill, and you would be right. But that doesn't change the fact that this is not going to work. If I spray these on skin, it's going to smell like an apocalyptic mess. So tester strips it is. So let's start off with this one, Kenzo Eau De Parfum. I like the bottle here. It's got a nice deeper blue that goes to clear at the bottom, a nice gradient. And this is in the style of all the Kenzo Eau bottles. So your atomizer is right here. And these are actually really easy to use. It's not like the Mugler Amen bottles that are built-in atomizers that are absolute garbage. So here we go. Nice. Mint, citrus, and aquatic notes, sea notes. First things that I'm picking up here. This is coming across Invictus E. Maybe not exactly like Invictus, but another one of those times where it seems like a brand looked at Paco Rabanne's homework, changed a couple answers, and turned it in. So there's a little bit of spiciness in here, not a whole bunch though. It's not really what I would call a spicy fragrance. Again, mainly citrus, mint, sea notes. It's fresh. It does have more of an Invictus Aqua type vibe than it does a straight up Invictus vibe, which is gonna make it more wearable in situations like right now, middle of summer, high heat. It's pretty good. Definitely the type of fragrance that I think would get hated on for having that similarity to Invictus/Invictus Aqua, because it's not like those fragrances get a ton of love from people in the community. But as far as being a wearable fragrance, versatile, people-pleasing, especially again in high heat, yeah, it ticks all those boxes. A little bit of vanilla sweetness coming out, not a huge amount, it's not cloying, just a little bit of that sweet touch. I'm gonna let that dry down a little bit and crack into these next ones. Let's do this one next. Hugo Now. It's got a nice frosted glass bottle. Looking at that fragrance, you would think again, summertime. Like I said, Tommy at Studio SCENTS, big fan of these bottles, this bottle style, the canteen bottle. When I see these bottles, I typically think it's gonna be a scent that's a little bit synthetic, but is usually pretty easy to wear. So let's go ahead and spray this one on, see how it smells. Really watery and fresh off the top. So ice is a note in here, so is watery notes, and that's what it smells like. Little touch of lemon, like this hint of lemon, almost like lemon water. Not lemonade, but like lemon water. Really small hint of cardamom off the tester strip. Really fresh, brisk, the type of fragrance that you would 100% reach for on a hot day. Actually, I'd reach for this probably before the Kenzo, if these were the only two fragrances I owned, just because it does have more of a refreshing feeling to it. If you could pick this up really cheap, probably be worth it. You know, 20, 25 bucks, $40+, I wouldn't go for it. But it does have a nice, just clean, refreshing, cooling vibe to it. Next up, let's check out Urban Journey. This bottle's cool. It's got kind of a tactile feel to it, like stone almost. It's like that sort of spray paint, I'm not sure what it's called, where it has this kind of like speckling to it, where it feels like a stone. So it's kind of neat. Let's go ahead and spray it on. Now this one has black tea as one of the notes, so that's what I would be most interested in smelling here, if it's really noticeable, and if it's well done or not. That does not come across very strongly off the tester strip, even though I just sprayed it. It's not offensive or anything, but not really that good. Sort of like some sweet green notes, tiny touch of florals. They're nondescript. I don't get any tea. Not off this tester strip, not off the top. Okay, a little bit of tea is starting to come out. I can pick it up a little bit more now, but it wasn't there initially. It has settled in a little. It actually smells a bit nicer, but this does come across fairly weak off this tester strip, I've got to say. The last two fragrances that I smelled, you could pick those up much easier. Like they were popping off the strip a bit more. This one is sitting pretty close very early on. So that would lead me to question if it would be the same on skin, if it would sit pretty close and be a weak performing fragrance. I like this more now that it's settled in a little bit. Feels like it's coming together a little bit better. That black tea coming out a little more, so you can actually pick that up. I would anticipate some woods as this dries down. Again, it is coming across a little bit weak, and that could be a big drawback. Now let's check out Real Madrid, and this one is not on Fragrantica, I believe. The bottle looks really cheap, and that is what I'm expecting here. Like I said, actually that atomizer is not too bad, all things considered. But like I said, you can pick this up for $8 to $12 a lot of places, so yeah. It's like a weird candied citrus. Yeah, it's like a candied, halfway dusty citrus. It's definitely synthetic. It does not at all smell realistic. It's not a true to life citrus note, imagine that. But it's not repulsive, if that's a positive. Pros is not repulsive. Check. Cons, smells horrifically synthetic and like a 10-year-old would be wearing it. Check. Yeah, I mean, it's about what you would expect for a $10 fragrance. It's actually maybe a little bit better than you would expect in a $10 fragrance. It does smell like something that somebody in junior high school might wear. You know, this doesn't smell like something that an adult should wear, really. It's just a very synthetically sweet citrus. That's about it. Mainly lemon. Mainly lemon. I'd imagine there's some musk in here as well, which wouldn't surprise me with the white bottle having a clean white musk in there, but there's not a whole lot going on here. I mean, I would never wear that, ever. I would give that to like one of my kids and be like, hey, here you go, knock yourself out. But I can't rag on it too much again because it is just so cheap. Okay, I'm gonna check these one more time and wrap this one up. So Kenzo Eau De Parfum, check this one. It has matured a little bit. Again, it had an Invictus Aqua kind of vibe off the top. I'm getting some like of a green sort of feeling in here. I imagine coming from the sage. A little bit of woodiness as well. The vanilla is not as pronounced, so it's not as sweet as I was expecting it to go. C notes are still in there and remnants of the citrus from the opening. It's not the type of fragrance I would want to rush out and buy. I don't know when I'll pick this one up. It's not one that smelling it here, I'm like, oh, I've got to get it. Not at all, but it's not too bad. You know, it's better than I was expecting. I saw some people on Fragrantica really hated it, so I went into this expecting it to potentially suck, but it's okay. It's not a fragrance that I'd give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It'd just kind of be like in the middle. And now Hugo. Now, there is not a lot left on this tester strip. It's about gone. I'm not wearing this on skin, so I cannot sit here and tell you the performance definitely sucks, but there's very little left on this tester strip. It smells like I sprayed this fragrance on this tester strip 12 hours ago, when in reality I sprayed it 15 minutes ago. There is the faintest hint of lemon. That's about it. I mean, there's not much lavender, there's not much cardamom. When you first spray it on, it's got this nice, refreshing, icy sort of feeling. So, icy lemon water, like I said before, with a bit of mint. It smells good, refreshing, not complex. It's pretty simple, but I can tell what they're going for, which is what this frosted bottle with blue liquid inside conveys. It's like a icy water. That's what you would think of when you see that. Like, oh yeah, you know, like when it's a really hot day, like really hot, and you walk by a swimming pool and it seems like the swimming pool is just shimmering, like beckoning you, jump into the water, cool down. That's kind of what this bottle is doing. And when you first spray it on, you get that. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. But then it's gone. I'll have to wear it on skin to see if that's how it wears on skin as well. If it does, then that would be a hard pass, outside of if you could pick it up for 20 bucks and just use it in situations that you might wear, like Dior cologne or something, where you just want something very refreshing and brisk and clean, even though you know it's not going to last that long. Urban Journey, and you can see the tester strip is curled up a bit where I sprayed a little bit of extra juice from this one onto this. But yeah, this actually comes across stronger now. So settled in, those extra sprays, they seem to help. I can pick this up much, much, much easier than Hugo Now, which you would expect. I did give it a couple extra sprays, but honestly, Hugo Now is like gone. Bit of twee. I do get a bit of that tea, green notes. This is pleasant. I don't know how this dries down. I don't know how this performs, or dries down all the way, I should say, but of these four, this one's probably the most interesting. I don't know that it would be the one that I would wear the most. I can't tell you that, but I think it's the most interesting of the bunch. If I got it really, really, really cheaply, and the weather is like it is right now, I would probably wear this one the most. I like the bottle on this one the most. And then I think this one probably the most interesting to smell of the bunch once the tea settles in. And this is just super cheap. I know, breaking news, right? So, what do I feel about these four overall? Am I going to run and purchase any of these right away? No, I'm not, no. I think the one of these that would be most usable to the greatest amount of people out there would be between these two. So this one for high heat, daytime, casual situations. Again, I think the performance could really suck on this one, but I have not worn it on skin, so I cannot say that with certainty. And then this one with the Invictus Aqua sort of vibe that people do seem to gravitate toward, and then it dries down and very slightly matures. You get a little bit more spiciness, some woods, not a huge ton of vanilla, at least off a tester strip. Off skin, again, it could be different. And get a bit of sage in there as well. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on these four fragrances that I kind of pilfered from Studio Scents. And if you smelled any of these, let me know what you think about them. As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.